journey started roughly 4 decades back, and now we feel proud of those visionary people who actually thought of such an institution 4 decades back when the SDG was nowhere in the picture. And now the entire globe has started talking about the sustainable development. And at that time, 40 years back, somebody visualized that there will be a time in future when a balance between nature and development will be required, and management professionals will be required to manage this dilemma and dichotomy between development and conservation. So with that, I think this institute started, and the then Prime Minister inaugurated this institute, and the foundation stone was laid by the late Prime Minister Indira Gandhi at that time. I think that philosophy itself is very deep rooted. We call it Pragati Moolam Prakriti. All the development actually emanates from the nature only. And that's how this management institute is unique in the country, not only in forestry sector, but also in the entire management education sector. And as far as this difference between other institutions and IFM is concerned, I think we are unique in many regards, and it is not only restricted to forestry management only. That is in a way now the journey which we have completed so far. Actually, this perhaps has become misnomer kind of thing nowadays. Because now we are talking of sustainability, very other dimensions of development, and development at the village level, rural development. These aspects are also covered under our curricula. So it is not only restricted to forest management. Forest management is the basic core value of this design of our curriculum, but it is only a part of it. So 30% is roughly forestry and environment related things, and remaining like any other MBA program. 2 years back, we have started a new program on sustainability management. Now looking towards the industrial needs of sustainability reporting and various kinds of regulatory compliances on the environment related aspects. 2 years back, we started PG Diploma in Sustainability Management, which is a new addition, and very few institutions in the country are running a program like this. And there is a phenomenal growth in 2 years only. First year, we had a very small batch, and next year, we had roughly 180% increase in that intake in that group. Of course, the overall strength is relatively less, but then now there is a surge in the admissions in PG DSM program itself. And looking at the tremendous overwhelming response from the industry to this, many CEOs and CSOs from different industries are participating in this program as guest faculty and volunteering to invite our students to their campuses. So this way, I think we also find it more exciting and more relevant nowadays. Perhaps it is in a way challenging our established program of PGDFM. Currently, we are considering only CAT aspirants who take this CAT examination and JAT examination. Other streams we are not taking up. So only CAT and JAT aspirants. And then last year we had a percentile of 70 percentile for the selection cutoff. Earlier it used to be around 80, 85. But last year we deliberately brought it down in order to actually enhance the diversity, number one. Number two, because this program at IFM is in a way slightly different from other your routine MBAs. So we need people who have some inclination towards nature, wildlife, and issues like this. And then maybe this actually bringing down the percentile gives us a broader group to select. So that way, this year it was relatively better selection of candidates. So we give more weightage to their diversity, and also from different backgrounds we take people. Otherwise, it is generally dominated by only one particularly engineering groups or mathematicians. So that diversity we are able to manage with the help of reducing the percentile last. Of course, it is a engineering dominated nowadays everywhere. So roughly 60-65% students joining IFM are from engineering background. Of course, they are very bright students, but then at the same time, many of them sometimes find that perhaps this is not the place where they should have come, because pure engineering background and pure management oriented people sometimes don't like it. So that way, if somebody is having some inclination towards nature and conservation values like this, then they really enjoy this place. Uh, as far as gender diversity is concerned, roughly 30-35% girls are there. And there is an increase in the last year because we made some changes in our admission process. So last year, roughly 35-36% girls are there. So that we find that now it is a very diverse group, and geographically also, students from 23 states are currently there in the institute. The average salary last year was 7.7 or 7.8, something like that, around that. The highest salary was 14 lakh rupees. And that is one of the best ROIs because there were annual fees is 2 years fees is 6.24 lakh rupees. And the highest salary package which was offered by one company last year was 14 lakh. There are hostels, separate hostels for girls and boys. And we have accommodations, twin accommodations for seniors, and this new hostel, junior single accommodation is also there. And we are also constructing some new hostels. Infrastructure creation is also in the pipeline because looking at the increased needs of more classes, more accommodation, and less facilities and auditoria. These things we have already started construction. Gym hall we have recently constructed here. And some other common places for the students because earlier the institute was created for roughly 35 students only 40 years back. Now we have an installed capacity of 210 PG students in MBA programs. And in future, this may also increase further, maybe in terms of maybe 60 students back. So that way, I think in near future, it is likely to reach 400-500 students. So now we are planning for that in times to come, maybe many more hostels and other facilities. There are many institutions which regularly take, and most of them are actually in environmental sector or issues related to these aspects. I can name some of them. For example, this Kantar, then DCB, TTC, Deloitte, NCDX, and Samvit Vikas. There are many institutions they list in front of me. So there are these organizations where this internship we take up. There are experts and there are different subject areas there. We generally groom them for as a green managers. So management naturally is one of the top priorities. So there are experts in marketing, experts in economics, there are experts in HR and other aspects which are generally the essential ingredients of any management program. But then over and above, the values of this conservation and then conflict between the society and development and all these conservation related issues, which are the overarching in nature and now affecting the development throughout the globe in different dimensions. So those things are also an essential part of our programs, which perhaps we are unique in that regard. Certainly our vision itself was to act as a thought leadership for the country. We are an organization under the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, and we are actually designated thought leadership for the ministry. So we keep on developing policy briefs and various other studies we are taking up for import, export, and various other dimensions of the forestry related management things. So we are automatically the choice of ministry, and they send us regularly such things for branding, for marketing, for export and import things, and various other dimensions, social dimensions, and various emerging policy-related issues we keep on regularly assessing. So this is a unique opportunity for us as a kind of thought leadership, which we provide to the country, and that way I think we are uniquely poised. IFM naturally is one of the perhaps only institution of its kind in India, I would like to say, where this increasing dichotomy between development and conservation is being addressed. And our students, when they join different organizations, different academic institutions, for example, we have our alumni in all the IIMs. as professors in different capacities. Around many universities around the globe, in different universities in different countries, there are professors, there are associate professors from IFM. So we are proud of them, and many of them are in different industries and businesses on their own. They are running these shows, and they are CEOs in different companies. So that way, we feel that, of course, we are a niche organization. We have a different kind of. We are not pure management organization as the corporate management principles, but then our objective is slightly different from general routine management institutions, and that way we feel satisfied and proud. And particularly looking at the global scenario, when the global risk report published by Global Economic Forum, this says that this year, for the first time in the history of world, all the 5 global threats, which are the global risks to the industry and business, they are in the environmental category. So we need professionals in times to come who can manage these things efficiently, who can report on these things to the government and authorities. So this is the time of IFM graduates is coming. So now in future, we are very, very optimistic and hopeful that students passing out from IFM have a very bright future. And in times to come, their unrealized potential will be certainly put to the best use of the society. I would like to say finally that anybody who is willing to join the institution, we are always eager to welcome them. But then they should first clarify whether they want to really sincerely pursue this kind of specialized course, because this is not a kind of routine MBA. So if somebody is really interested in long-term planning and continue here, then he's most welcome.